Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. From the Channel 9 studio, this is Sports Chat with Mr. 33. I am he, Mr. 33. And what a night that we had tonight, coming from Monday Night Raw in Orlando, Florida. Let's get to it. So we start off Raw tonight with Division coming out to have a conversation. Paul Heyman announces something that we had already figured out, but he made it official. Austin Theory is the newest member of the division. Austin Theory starts to have a conversation. He starts talking, and CM Punk music plays, and he comes out. And CM Punk was like, you know what? I ain't got nothing. I don't want to hear what you talking about, Theory. I came to talk to Braun Breaker, and pretty much he called him out. Braun Breaker told him, "Come on down to the ring. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing to you." But right before he said that, he's like, "Yo, it'll be easy for me to come down there, and then y'all bounce me. But then, of course, if y'all do that, we ain't gonna have no match." So that had to, that stalled him a little bit. But he ends up going down to the ring. Braun Breaker told him, "Listen, man, pretty much, I'm known for doing this, that, and the third, but I'm gonna be known for taking care of business and putting you down. People think because my dad, my name is what my name is. I'm living off the lineage, but I was doing things that y'all don't even know about. I was doing things y'all couldn't." And I thought that was, a pretty good conversation. But CM Punk said, "Oh, you thought I was gonna come down here and talk like you ain't got it. But let me tell you something, you got it. You are who you are. You one of the most dangerous people out here. But I ain't trying to let this belt go. And you gonna find out. Cause I ain't letting this go. And if I do lose this, and it won't be to you." So that segment started the whole mood and atmosphere in Orlando, and I thought that was a awesome conversation. You know, Braun Breaker got to say his piece. Punk got to say his piece. Stepped out, nothing crazy happened. Um, they ain't the same. They understand they're not like each other. So they left it where it's at. Um, I said great opening segment. So then we go to the triple threat match. This is the first match of the night. Stephanie Valkyria versus Nikki Bella versus Raquel Rodriguez. Uh, Raquel dominated early on. Punishing little Stephanie, uh, making Nikki look just as small as Stephanie. Um, Hitting fallaway slams, just using her straight advantage. Then Nikki started getting an advantage. Try to put what you call in the STF. Um, Then everybody just started going back and forth. Then Nikki Bella found herself in the devil's kiss. Uh, then Raquel started hitting people. She was going to hit them with the Tahana bomb, and then Stephanie escaped. Uh, she ended up nailing Nikki Bella. Then pushed Raquel out the ring, pinned Nikki Bella, got the 3 count. So Stephanie defended her belt in the triple threat match in success as she beats both Raquel and Nikki to gain the title. Uh, you know, Good win for Stephanie. Wise decision to take the strongest person and throw him out the ring, and then cover the opponent that was who was in the Tejana bomb and got the pin. So sometimes it's not about being strong; it's about being wise. And the wisest thing, like I said, she could have done is take out the powerhouse as she wasted that energy doing the Tahana bomb and pin the opponent that suffered the damage on the Tahana bomb. So, you know, big win for Stephanie to retain the belt. Um, so we go on to the next. Well, the Kabuki Warriors come out. They talking smack. Kyrie's talking about how EO left her. Oscar talking about you know the EO in Game of 6-7. What's going on with you? Um, how EO and Rhea is not a real, they're not real tag team and stuff like that. Then everybody, Rhea and them comes, well, Uh, EO comes out and they start fighting. They fight all the way towards the back. That's how their segment ends. Oh my God. R-Truth versus Gunther. Oh my God. R-Truth, I guess he thought he was calling himself to redeem himself for John Cena. Um, the baby face, Gunther started. Gunther just annihilated him. Uh, then Gunther started mocking R-Truth. And then, he made R-Truth tap out, put him to sleep. It made Truth look like he was a little guy, and that's how he gained the victory. So this wasn't a real match. It wasn't a long match. It was a very quick match. Like I said, Gunther defeated Truth. They're trying to show that Gunther showed his dominance ever since he defeated John Cena, and they kept it going by taking out John Cena's number one fan, who was R-Truth, according to R-Truth, of course. But or Ron, well, he's R-Truth. Last week he was Ron Killen. But that's another story for another day. Uh, like I said, they're gonna do the things that they need to do as far as to get Gunther the advantage and ride the momentum of him beating Cena and being dominant in that match. The next match was Rey Mysterio versus Austin Theory. Like I said, Austin Theory part of the division, and Rey Mysterio felt like he owed him one since he curb stomped him a couple weeks back. Uh, and he also got beat with division. So uh, Austin Theory showed off that he's a new person and he was dominating this match. Uh, handling Rey Mysterio. But y'all know the OG. The OG gained advantage some way, shape, or form. He started to come back. Uh, he hit him with a 619, or he set it up for the 619. But Logan Paul came in and interfered with the match, causing a disqualification. Then they tried to jump him. Then Penta came out. Penta, welcome back Penta as he coming back from an injury, made a return, and he got rid of the Vision, and Ray and Penta, they stand tall and they looking like, damn, now we got new things to worry about. But Rey Mysterio does get the victory because of a disqualification. Like I said, this was more about showing up at the right place at the right time. As much damage as Division was doing a few weeks back, uh, Penta came back to set something straight. Like I'm still around, and all of this is gonna stop. What up, though? Shout out to my 33 brother, my co-host, the Word. What up, though? Then we go to Maxine Dupree, Maxine, Maxine, and oh god, Becky. They going back and forth. Becky kept interrupting. Maxine was like, "Yo, listen, I ain't got time for this." Pretty much. Uh, Becky made Maxine was really saying some things to get under her skin, and they setting up for an intercontinental match coming down the road. But Becky, she knows she can't really do nothing right now because she got the momentum. But that was just a little brief back and forth between Becky and Maxine Dupree. Uh, but Maxine Dupree is starting to talk a little bit more, and she's talking a lot with confidence. I guess when you win a championship, when you're standing at the top of the mountain, you gain a little confidence. It's not arrogance, it's confidence. Plus, we've been seeing her, training with Natalia. So we understand how she's gaining confidence. And Becky, as she stated, yo, I didn't think you was much, but now that you've been training a little bit, yeah, you do a little something. You know what I mean? That's how she put it on display. And Becky told her, listen, I'm going to get my belt back. So we're gonna sit back and watch that match for a little bit. Uh, then we got the match of the night for the World Tag Team Championships. The Usos versus AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. Uh, the Usos start. Well, the Usos came down and started off early, and they was tagging in and out, taking care of Dragon Lee. Uh, then after they wiped out AJ, Dragon Lee found a way to get the hot tag. AJ comes in firing off, taking out the Usos. Uh, AJ also started to, gain the momentum until Jay hit a splash. Uh, Jay did a Jay did a spear and they almost won the match then, but it was like some people might think it was controversial. They thought the third count went down, but it didn't. Then AJ was trying to hit somebody with the Stars Clash, didn't get that to go through. Then AJ tried to hit the phenomenal forearm. Uh, Jay Jay hit him with the double super kick, and then AJ Lee, Dragon Lee comes in. They hit Dragon Lee with the 1D, get the 3 count. So the Usos win the match, become the World Tag Team Champions. Uh, and the place was rocking. When I say that place was rocking, it was rocking, man. It was excitement, but that match was a hell of a match, right? Like I said, Jay and Dragon Lee, they was trying to match each other momentum. Dragon Lee was flying way out the ring, doing all type of stuff, man. He jumped over the announcer's table uh, to take out Jimmy Uso. Uh, Jimmy was selling a lot. Uh, Jay and AJ was selling a lot. Shout out to AJ Lee. I mean AJ Lee. Shout out to AJ and Dragon Lee. AJ Lee. That's what we call him in the YouTube realm. AJ Lee, not the mock the woman AJ Lee, but to simplify the name. But we probably won't have to call that name no more because they lost the belt. But they did a hell of a job in this match. Like I said, AJ doing AJ and Jay, they did a lot of the work. Selling the double super kick. AJ sold the hell out of that. Dragon Lee just got caught at the wrong place at the wrong time and hit the 1D, and then they regained the championship. So there's a lot to talk about as far as looking forward, as far as the Usos winning the championship. Um, it's a lot. I know the first thing everybody probably gonna say is is there a possibility? I think there's a possibility because they're probably. I'm just thinking they lose to the division. I don't know which group of division. Because if Breaker don't win on next Monday, they're gonna try to get the tag belts, right? And then if they get the tag belts and somebody else happens to come in, you may see we're gonna see a Roman Reigns sighting regardless because it's the 1 year anniversary of Netflix. So we will see him. The question is gonna be, will we see AJ? Will we see Seth Rollins? Right? Will Seth Rollins come in? And if he does come in, who is he going to set his sights on? Is he going to set his sights on Punk, or is he going to set his sight on Braun Breaker as he's trying to win the championship? It's a lot of questions going into the 1 year anniversary of the Netflix show. Um, it's just like I said, it's something to ponder and think about. Right? We probably see a few people from the past from Raw, but I know definitely we're gonna have an anniversary like a big shindig. This might go 3 hours next week. I don't know for sure. I know next week's SmackDown. I believe SmackDown's returning to 3 hours in the new year. So there's a lot of things to look forward to. But I'm really looking forward to what's going on. We're like, what's going to happen, right? Now with the Usos winning the championship, who's lining up? Uh, Stephanie Valkyrie, she just won her belt. Will Judgment Day start breaking down because Raquel didn't win the belt? It's a lot of things going as we start to head towards 2026. But more importantly, heading towards Survivor Series, which is at the end of January. Punk, will he retain his belt? Like I said, we don't know. It's a lot of things going on. It'll be too soon for the Usos to lose the belt in a week. But we'll see what happens as far there's no official lineup going into next week. Well, yes it is. We know that the world championship is gonna be next week. So we'll figure out what the rest of the card is gonna be. Uh but like I said, good show tonight. Saw the titles change hands in the tag team division. Uh will it change hands next week? We don't know. But there's a lot going on and we're excited to see what's going on as far as the anniversary, which is next week. We'll talk about Friday. On Friday, uh, like I said, there's a lot going on. But quickly, we're gonna touch on the NFL. Uh, so tonight we see that the Rams lost to the Atlanta Falcons 27-24. The Rams tried to come back. Well, the Rams did come back from a 21-0 lead, a 21-3 lead, a 24-3 lead to tie it up at 24, only for the Falcons to get the field goal and didn't stop them as time expired. With that loss, the Rams are the number 5 seed, and I don't think they can advance. They can. I don't think they can advance no higher than the 5 seed because they can't be 6. Because let me just look at the playoff situation real quick. Oh, let me go back. Let me put that up for you so y'all can understand what I'm saying. Boom. Mm, mm, mm. Oh, I ain't put it up yet. Bing. There you go. So, as you can see with the loss tonight, the Rams are 11-5. They're the 6 seed. They only wait. So next Sunday, on Saturday night rather, Saturday night is the 49ers and the Seahawks to see who will be the division winner and the NFC conference leader. That's the best way to sum that. That's a must. That's not a must win, but if you want that week off, it's a must win, right? So that's how those games. That's how Sunday is going. Saturday night is going. Let's just go ahead and see. Uh, let's see if we can find the schedule. Let me shoot over here. Give you the playoff scenario. Hold on, I'll go back to NBA in a minute. Get to the NFL. Show the schedule. Uh, Share the tab. So this is the game for Saturday night. Saturday afternoon is going to be the Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That game is a winner take all. Whoever wins this game will be wow. Whoever wins this game is going to the playoffs as the NFC South winners. The loser go home. So if the Buccaneers win, there will be a under 500 team hosting a division game and more than likely will be playing the winner of the second game, which will be the Seattle Seahawks heading to San Francisco to play the 49ers. That'll be the second game on Saturday. And like I said, so you're seeing a preview of who's going to play whom for next week, right? Because like I said, whoever wins that 49er game, the loser will be playing the winner of the Carolina game. So that's just substance and shows you how important Saturday afternoon / evening is going to be. And then those two divisional games right there. And then of course we go into the January 4th game. Uh, we're going to look at the Jaguars and the Titans. If the Jaguars win, they win the division. Of course, the Texans are a game behind. If the Jaguars lose and the Texans win, they may claim the division. We'll look at that in a second. That'll be a vision. And then, of course, uh, we're looking to see who wins the AFC division. If the Broncos lose and the Patriots win, they'll be the number 1 seed. if the Patriots win, and like I said, the Broncos lose, that'll be the same thing. Uh, and then finally, at Sunday night, we will be looking at the Ravens and the Steelers. The winner of that game will be heading to the playoffs. And like I said, we'll be playing the number 5 seed, which I can't remember who that was right now. I think it's either it's going to be the winner of the AFC, maybe the Texans or maybe the Jags. Whoever wins the loser of the AFC South will be playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's look at the scenarios of what could possibly happen. Right. So as I just stated, in the North, the Ravens and Steelers going to determine who wins the division. The losers out. The Titans and Jaguar game will be crucial. Like I just said, whoever wins that, the Texans will be trying to not only secure the playoff spot but the division. Just spoke about the NFC South with the Panthers and the Bucks. The NFC North, the West, I just spoke about as well. So, like I said, there's a lot of things going on as far as that. The Broncos, like I just said, we just stated all of this right here. But I just wanted to show you guys so you can see for yourself as I explained it and simplify it because sometimes I talk fast and people don't see what I'm saying. But it's all up to the Jaguars. If the Jaguars don't win and the Texans lose, if the Jaguars lose and the Texans win, they could do that. But they showing you here how the Jaguars could win the number 1 seed. They could win the number 1 seed with the Broncos and the Patriots both losing and the Jaguars winning. And like I said, the Patriots got to wait for the Broncos. The Broncos got to lose, and the Broncos sit in the driver's seat. All they got to do is win against the Chargers. We know the Patriots more than likely is going to win against the Dolphins, even though they shocked the Bucks last week. But still, so that's how the AFC is looking right now, and we just explained how the NFC is looking as far as the number 1 seed. So that's the gist of it. But before I head to the NBA scores and talk about that real quick, I want to briefly talk about the situation in Pittsburgh with DK Metcalf. Now, we found out later on, well, it was reported Sunday that DK Metcalf had a problem with that. I don't want, reportedly, is that same guy that he just tried to punch as he was a Seattle Seahawk last year. The NFL knew about it. They did nothing. They didn't even tell the Steelers about it. But y'all had the audacity to suspend the guy. Don't, I get it. I do get it, right? The customer is supposed to be right all the time. That's not always the case because that means you justify the report of that same person being talking very negatively about that same player. So when he confronts the player, he said I ain't say nothing, but I remember you from last year. You the same guy, and there was witnesses saying that the same dude did the same thing last year. So now y'all had the audacity to suspend him. Not only did y'all suspend him, but when he appealed it, y'all had the information, and then you didn't want to lessen it because it was a fan, but it's the same fan that he had a problem with. I get it. Like I said, the customer's always right. That's the what the slogan is supposed to be, but that's not always the case because if you wrong, you wrong. And for that person to sit there and think that nobody's going to hear him, that's crazy. All right, he's supposed to be focused on the game. But how you focusing on the game when somebody's sitting there name calling you, and things like that? You can't. That's not always being focused. And we have to remember these guys are human beings too. They may not be like the guys back in the days because sometimes the guys back in the days would have ran up in the stands and punched the dude in the face, right? But you can't just keep talking disrespectfully to people like they're not going to respond, like they shouldn't respond. Maybe they shouldn't respond, but at the end of the day, you should be able to. You should be talking about the person's game. Stop talking about what you think he is, whatever the derogatory conversation was, the negative things that you were saying about the person. I don't know, more than likely people are presuming it's about, the race card and all of that other stuff. I don't know. But you can't be your intent was to hurt that man some way, shape, or form, to distract him, whatever you do, whatever you can do to distract him. You did your part. The man got suspended for 2 games, and that 2 games may cost the Pittsburgh Steelers a playoff a spot. And like I said yesterday, I know people were sitting there going to say, "Well, it's up to Aaron Rodgers," but y'all sitting there watching these games, y'all see Aaron Rodgers cannot really do but so much, and he needs DK Metcalf, and that suspension is hurting him. Not only did the man lose 45, well, he supposedly got the 45 million guaranteed back, but the fact that he's not there to help his team, what's the point of him being there? You know what I mean? Of course, he should have walked away. Everybody going, like I said, everybody gonna say that, but nah, you gotta understand, man. There's people that are human beings, and it's not about him being tough or anything like that. Sometimes you could trigger a person, and when y'all know I don't want to say he's easy to pick on, yet y'all see the result when he felt the way he felt. He went over there and approached that man, and like I said, that led to the 2 game suspension. Like I said, I don't think it's fair for the NFL. You're supposed to support the guys that's bringing the money in. I get it. Without that guy, the fan can't come in. But you don't take the fan side if he's wrong. If he's wrong, he's wrong. He asked for that person to be thrown out of the game last year. Y'all didn't even do it. Y'all allowed him to come back, and this is the result. This it's easy to say shame on you, NFL, but with all the information that's out now, you guys are looking bad. You're not supporting the people that you rock with, which is the players. The players are supposed to be protecting the players. Now, if something would have happened to that man, then he would have been wrong. What if something happened to DK Man? What if he'd have tried to do something like who knows, spit in his face or anything crazy? We don't even know, but y'all didn't protect them in the first place because y'all have information on a dude and y'all let it rock. So NFL, you're not looking right. You guys didn't really protect DK Metcalf, so he felt like he had to protect himself. Maybe I don't know what his thoughts was, but that's what made him swing at the person. He probably was talking mad junk to him. I remember you. You said something slick to me. Let me go ahead and holler at you, and that's what he did. Right or wrong, that's what he did. Now going into the NBA, in Charlotte, the Bucks 123, the Hornets 113. The Bucks are 14-19. The Hornets are 11-21. In Washington, the Suns 115, the Wizards 101. The Phoenix Suns are 19-13, and the Wizards are 7-24. In Toronto, the Raptors with a 1 point victory, 107-106 over the Magic. With the loss, the Magic go to 18-15. With the win, the Raptors go to 20-14. In Brooklyn, the Warriors came through with a 120-107 win. The Warriors 1 game above 500 at 17-16. I don't know why they keep not putting this net score stat up there, but I guess it is what it is. Um, but they're not winning that many games. I wasn't, that's not a shot. I'm just saying that's part of what was going on. Uh, in Miami, the Heat 147, the Nuggets 123. Nikola Jokic got hurt in his game. He left the game early. So we'll check on that information. Hopefully, it's nothing serious. We will see tomorrow as it comes along. In New Orleans, the New York Knicks visit the Pelicans. The Knicks get the victory 130-125. The Knicks are 23-9. With the loss, the Pelicans is 8-26. Uh, in Chicago, the Timberwolves visit the Bulls. The Timberwolves 136, Chicago 101 with the win. The T Wolves go to 21-12. With the loss, the Bulls go to 15-17. Uh, in the first game of the doubleheader on national television, the San Antonio Spurs hosted the Cleveland Cavs. The Cavs with a 113 to 101 victory, stopping the Cavs, getting the Cavs a win for the first time in a couple games, giving them 18 to 16. And the Spurs dropped to 20. What are they? 23-8. Even though the score is not here, the stat is not there. 23-8, something like that. In Oklahoma City, the Hawks visit the Thunder, and the Thunder with a 140 to 129 win. With that win, the Thunder go to 28-5. The Hawks go to 15-19. Uh, in Houston, the Pacers visit the Rockets. The Rockets get a 126 to 119 win. The Rockets go to 20-10. The Pacers with the loss go to 6-27. And the final game, which is on right now, with hold on, mine says halftime, but I'm looking at the score now. The Portland Trailblazers 75, the Dallas Mavericks 67. Well, 77-67. Uh, with 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. So those are the scores in the NBA. Scores is brought to you by the 9%. Uh, where better use it, better us. Shout out to the 9%. Yeah, the Rams lost, man. Matthew Stafford had a horrible game. I think he threw like 3 interceptions. Uh, yeah, he had 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Uh, it wasn't, but Bijan Robinson ran roughshod all over them. He had about 200 total yards on them on the defense. But the game was dope, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. They was up 24. They was up 21-0, then 24-3. Going into the half, the third quarter, the Rams scored a touchdown. Then they blocked the field goal to score the second touchdown, which got them to 24-17. Then they tied it up at 24. And like I said, the Falcons got a field goal late with about 25 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Stafford tried to, man, listen, the defense was so good. Puka Nacua came down with a catch, but as he was going out of bounds, the defender knocked it out of his hand to where they had to reverse the call and say he was out of bounds. And that would have put them in field goal range with about 5 seconds to go. But, like I said, the Falcons, they did what they needed to do to get the victory. So, like I said, with the Rams loss, they'll be the 5 seed or the 6 seed, excuse me. And if everything stays the way that it stays, but we'll talk about that next week. We'll talk about that Sunday, because if the playoffs started today, the Rams will be playing the Eagles. The Rams and Eagles will be playing the first round. Uh, the Bears will be playing the Packers, which would have been a rematch, and the Niners would be playing the Panthers. So we'll figure that out. Miss Chicago, good evening. How you feeling? How you feeling? What's going on? So that's the stats. Yes, Miss Chicago, it's me. How you doing? It's me. It's me on the sports side. Trying to bring regular conversation about sports and let people blow themselves off, blow they cool off their jets and steams and anger and frustration, and on the sports side. So we started the sports channel for that reason, so everybody can have the conversation, football, basketball. We even talk about wrestling, WWE stuff like that. So we made this channel about a year ago, and like I said, just for people to come in and have the conversation, talk they smack about sports. We got some cowboy lovers that come in and have that conversation. So it ain't always about teaching and learning. We could just have a conversation about sports and things like that. But it is me. It's always good to see you. I'm in the building. Uh, Yeah, so you know, like I said, we figured out the rest of the playoff situation on Sunday, even though Saturday is going to have a lot of implications. Damn, but it don't. Um, a lot of implication, especially that night, that 49ers Seahawks game. Will Sam Donald be able to give them the victory, or will the 49ers just come back from improbable situations as far as losing Fred Warner, Christian McCaffrey's out was out for a while. Brock Purdy was out for a while. Uh, what's the tight end name? Oh God, yeah, Kittle. It didn't play the other day. Will he be playing again? This is for all the marbles. Like I said, if they win, 49ers win, everything goes through San Francisco. And if they happen to make the Super Bowl, they won't have to travel too far because it's in their stadium this year. So, a lot of things is getting ready to happen as far as, week 18 and the regular season coming to an end. Like I said, it's a lot. You said you love the Cowboys and Green Bay. Uh well, Green Bay, they're already in the playoffs. Like I said, in the NFC, the playoffs is already solidified. The only spot that's available is the NFC South, and that'll be decided Saturday as the Panthers play the Tampa Bay Bucks. Hmm? But they in the playoffs regardless. So, but whoever loses that game on Saturday between the Panthers and the Bucks, they ain't making the playoffs. Just like Sunday, whoever don't win that Ravens Steeler game ain't making the playoffs. And that's another thing. Will Aaron Rodgers be able to do it? Matter of fact, will Lamar Jackson even play Saturday? See, these are the questions that you ask. Now, it's one thing for them to play and then they got to play next week. Is that fast healing? We don't know. But it's all about the desire to make the playoffs, the desire to see if you can go on a run to win the Super Bowl. We have seen wild card teams do it. I know the Steelers done it. We know the Giants done it twice. Uh, it's just the fact that things could change. If the 49ers win, they might could do it. They've been on a winning streak. The Texans is now six wins in a row. Can they continue that going into the playoffs? One don't know, but that's why the NFL playoffs is the most unique playoff situation in the world because you got one game, and then if you win it, you go to the next one. You just got to be the best at that time. Yeah. Um. It's just unique when you have that one game mentality. Next man up, one game. Any get the term is any given Sunday. But like I said, Saturday is a thing now, so they'll be playing wild card weekend. But we'll have all of that information right after the Steeler game, and they'll probably have who's going to play next Saturday, which will be what is that? The 10th and the 11th. Yeah, the 10th and the 11th. Right after that Sunday night game, and we'll be right on after that to break down all the wins and losses, the seedings, and everything. Because, like I said, it's that time. It's that time. We just spoke about how wrestling is heading towards their big event. There's nothing bigger in the world than the Super Bowl. Well, maybe the World Cup, but as far as like the championships, the NFL Super Bowl is something that everybody looks forward to, and they'll be working on that from starting next week. So we'll be excited. We'll be back and excited to have that conversation. We'll be in the midst. Uh, we'll do our final week 18 picks of the week. We don't have to worry about Thursday because there's no Thursday game. It'll be 2 games Saturday. The rest will be Sunday. And as always, if anybody wants to pick the games, y'all welcome to pick the games. Just leave your picks on the community for all, and they'll be added to the list. Now, hopefully, as we go into this, uh, get natural, Miss Chicago. You know what I mean? But we'll we'll we're gonna try to get some more people. We try to do a fantasy league this year, but we got a little hung up at the end because we got out there a little bit later than we wanted to, and I'll take the responsibility on that because I didn't announce or put it out there what I would how we would do that. But this year, now that we got this channel up and running, we're getting more people by the day. We're going to expect some more participation just for you guys. Like I said, for you guys to have the conversation, talk your smack. You get to pick. You get to be a GM. You get to see how, if it's really that difficult to sit back and just say, well, we're gonna put this guy with that against that team and so on and so forth. You get to build your team. You get to be a boss, your own boss, and it's gonna be free. There's no money involved as far as paying or anything like that. It's just us building a community. And we just go ahead and having the drafts and all of that. We'll talk about that going down the line, but we are announcing that now. So um, that way when we get to the August and the spring training, the preseason of the NFL. We will be ready by the first week of the NFL, and we'll go in there and have some fun like I said, for the next 4 months. And we'll be here to have that conversation too. God willing, we can do it, right? It's like I said, it ain't gonna cost us nothing. It ain't going. All we're gonna do is have the draft, have the conversation. We get to pick who we want. We get to talk our smack. Like, my team better than your team. You know what I mean? It's all right, Miss Chicago. Let me tell you, not a lot of people know that I have this channel, and that's the thing, right? Because in all reality, it's for me, it's a separation of the two because there's two different channels, right? You got the regular channel where I go ahead and have a conversation and be uh that talk is inspiring, uplifting, learning certain things like that. Over here we just talking about sports, and sometimes the sports conversations do lead to everyday life, which I love. And when that happens, if you know me, you know I'll go into that, right? But like I said, this is just like sports, because we got our Cowboy lovers, we got our Detroit Lion fans, we got our New York fans all over. We got some people that ride with their teams, and a lot of us we had some down years. As most people know, I'm a Jets fan, so we had our down year. My team looked like purely trash, and I, I I don't even know what to expect with them guys, right? But I'm a realist. I can sit there and really say, yo, that was a horrible coaching job this year. I can have that conversation, and like I can be real with it as I am any other time. And I can give people their credit. You know what I mean? Like we'll start talking about who might win we'll have that conversation in week 18. Who we think our MVP is going to be. We think we know our defensive player. Don't lie. Stop lying. Stop lying, man. I ain't preaching about. You can't preach about sports because sports is so spontaneous. You don't know who's gonna do what. Look at the pick boards. We all thought that the Rams were gonna win today. The Rams didn't win, right? Then we thought the Lions were gonna win. They didn't win. We thought the damn Raiders. I don't know. I should have listened to Commander. I shouldn't have picked them motherfuckers. Commander, I know you listening. You're gonna catch a replay. My bad. And she said good luck when I told her this. I should have listened to her. Sometimes women intuition is right. See what I'm saying? I should have followed her. Said, I'm going with the Giants. But even with that, you think the Giants would want the number one draft pick, they wouldn't play as hard. I guess the Raiders didn't play as hard either. They played worse. They lost. So now they looking like they about to get the number one draft pick. Who knows? Somebody might let the Raiders win, and then we have a whole different conversation. But the beauty of sports is that sports is one of those things that you can sit down and have the conversations about it, and and just leave everything outside, right? You can leave everything. You can leave the workload outside. I don't have to worry about what that one's talking about over there, that one talking about over there, how their job was going, how they have this problem, that problem. We can just sit down and have a conversation going forward.
Fake news, real news,
No,
fake news.
yeah, ain't no way in the world. No, ain't no way in the world. If Mike Trout goes to the Yankees, that would have been a leading story.
I would have say like what?
I would have led with that off the top. Like, wait a minute, they got rid of. Nah, that ain't real news. That's fake news.
All right.
And that's another thing about this. Sometimes we can come over here and confirm the fake news, the real news, and that's but that's what I'm saying. Like, you see how that goes? Here he go with eating ribs, and damn shame. I'm glad you know what, Miss Chicago. I'm glad the 49ers won too. I'm glad that the Steelers lost, right? Because now we have something to look forward to going into the last week of the season, right? In all reality, right? Now we got the 49ers. If they win next Saturday, they get the number one seed and have a week off. If the Steelers win, they get to win the division. If the Ravens win, it's the same thing. Same thing in the Carolina and Tampa Bay game. Two of those teams is going to win. Two of those teams are going to lose. The winner goes to the playoff. The loser goes home. That's exciting. That's something to look like. Other than that, if everything was already solidified, we just gonna watch the watch. There ain't nothing exciting going on. Most people probably wouldn't watch. They probably watch basketball or something to that extent, college basketball, and go about their business, and that's just the way it goes. But now that we got meaningful games, we get to see who's going to get eliminated on the last day of the season. That's something to look forward to. That's something that we could talk about. I will pick my picks, of course, Friday. Uh, yeah, because I I think I want to go through, hear who's going to play. Like I said, in Baltimore, will Lamar Jackson play Saturday? If Lamar Jackson plays, I might pick the Steelers. I might pick the Ravens regardless. I just think that, sometimes history does repeat itself, and we've seen the Steelers, go back and forth, win or lose, uh, go 9-8. They be more happy. They be more happy with just having a winning record instead of making the playoff and making having a chance to win the Super Bowl. So that irks me. So I don't even look at it that way. But even with that, see, you like atmosphere, Miss Chicago. Atmosphere. He's down there. He lives down there. So that's his team. So I understand. But sometimes you got to build the team in order for it to happen. Like that trade that they got in the middle of the season, not the Michael Parsons trade, but the one with Quinn Williams and all that. They had the momentum, and then it just fell apart. Now they have something to work on. They building a nice little defense, a defensive line. They got to figure out the back of the like the corners and safeties, and build up a better line so they can have a better running and passing combination as far as the linemen, and then they make it do something. You know, you know what, man? We're gonna talk about. I'm thinking I should go live and just talk about the what I wanted to talk about. Damn, these people just going crazy. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm watching the basketball game at the same time doing this. The Trailblazers is up 90-77 with 3 minutes to go, 3:40 to go in the third quarter. But you know, now that they're doing that, and then they got a couple. Well, they gave away some draft picks, so they got to just figure out what do they want. Do they want to be a winning team, or do they just want to be relevant in the news? If they want to be a winning team, they got to do things to help themselves get better. If not, like I said, you can be relevant. And is it about just Jerry Jones making a dot? I don't know how that works, because I feel like this: if you win a Super Bowl, you'll win more money. You gain more money. Your team goes up a whole bunch of $1 billion or so when you win the Super Bowl. And then when they break the tie and have 7 Super Bowl rings, they will be, they might be worth 20 billion instead of 10. So my business situation is different from everybody else's, because I know if I win, well, now it's 92-82. Yeah, I see it now too. Y'all know my thing be faster than the mug than the thing. But I'm just looking up and then looking down and reading the comments, right? And even with that, Miss Chicago, it's been a couple of times I did a couple of football games live. Like I'm calling the game, and I've done some basketball games like that. But that's what I'm saying. It's not loaded the way I need it to be. That's why I said, like, if I like reload it, like as soon as I click on it, it'll probably say third quarter with 2:14. Yeah, that's the right time. See what I'm saying? Because I'm not even look. I'm just over here talking. I didn't refresh it or nothing. No, this is the third. This is the end of the third quarter. Well, it's 2:14 to go in the third. So, but that's what we, like I said, in Chicago. That's what we do over here. Talk about sports. Um, like I said, I don't know. If some people want to talk about baseball, I've spoken about baseball. Once in the blue, I'll talk about hockey, but that's more like the playoff time. I could talk about the college football scene. I can do all of these things. But as more people join in, we can have those different conversations. You know what I mean? But right now, I know a lot of the guys and gals. We talk about wrestling, WWE, SmackDown, Raw. We spoke about TNA, NXT. Once in the blue, we talk about AEW, and then, like I said, we talk about the major sports: basketball, football, and like I said, just somewhere where we can all come in and just sit down and had a conversation. Maybe if we do a whole basketball game, we could just shoot the breeze as we look at the scores and stuff like that. And I'm telling people how it goes. And we just have, like I said, I'm just trying to build something to where people gonna be comfortable and feel at home and just look at scores and highlight. Well, not highlights. We don't do highlights. We want to talk. Yo, let me tell you something, man. They showed that clip. They showed that clip with Almost and the little dude from the AAA. I said, yo, I couldn't find a way to get it to you. I was like, yo, I want to record that and just like do a short about that. No pun intended. I just wanted to do a short like a thing like that. Um, but we'll speak about that in the background. I wanted to make the commercial. Remember the first thing that we did like last year with the 9% thing. I wanted to just clip that in half, just the nine, and make that like a minute and a half commercial break when I start to do the like the games and stuff like that. And when I have an intermittent break, um, appreciate you, Miss Chicago. Like how you got like the commercial breaks, and then I'll just play that every once in a while. You know what I mean? So that way there's a commercial break for me as well. Maybe want to get up and drink some water and have some, you know what I mean? Just put the video on and just have a little intermission. But I'll speak to you about that in the background. But that's pretty much the gist of it. You know what I mean? But as always, we'll be back. We'll be back Friday. Uh, we'll be back Friday to have that conversation. Now let me see if they got anything coming on tomorrow. Tomorrow on Peacock. Is that tomorrow on Peacock or NBA T? I don't know what they on. Yeah, tomorrow night peak. Now Tuesday, they got the Detroit Pistons and the Los Angeles Lakers at 10:30. I may do that game. Like I said, I may do it. just to get some more games under the belt and things like that. Because I know Wednesday I'll probably do well, Busted Down Brown channel gonna have, I believe, a New Year's thing heading into the New Year's. Uh, but I gotta find a way. I don't know, man. I'm just running around so much during the day. I wanted to do the conversation about people's reputation. Does reputation equal character? I'm gonna try to have that. I might have that. I don't know if I'm gonna have that at. I don't know. I'm gonna try to do it soon. But it's not a live. It's a commercial. Wait, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about over there. Um, the score is now 97-93 at the end of the third quarter over here. Uh, I think Portland's up. I just saw it. I just looked up. So it's 97-93, heading towards the fourth quarter. Um, yeah. So I want to bring the new year in, but I just want to leave something on this side because like I said, I'll probably be on a Busted Down channel to do the New Year thingy. Oh my God, you spoke about that like two or three times. You spoke about it with me, BDB, all type of stuff. Yeah, I can't remember the lot. It's about maybe 3 months ago. But that's what I'm saying. We doing so much videos, we don't even remember what we be talking about. I gotta go back and look. Also, we'll be celebrating. Like I said, we'll shout out Mo Perspective, aka Logical Thinker, as her birthday is Wednesday night. Like I said, I'll wish her a happy birthday, shout her out, and then take it into the new year on Thursday, hopefully, because I might forget and just do something crazy like sit down and enjoy the whole holiday myself. I want to bring it in with my peoples. You know, you guys are my people too. We get familiar. You watching that right now? Well, okay. I ain't gonna ruin it for you, but it was a good game. I promise you that was a good game. The way to listen, it's a good game. It's a very good game in Chicago. You might be watching the highlights, so I'm not going to say anything, but that was a good game. And let's go. Like I said, we're gonna see a lot of people not playing. Like the Bills. I don't think the Bills should be playing Josh Allen. They can't do nothing. They can't win a division. They can't improve on nothing. So they need to just chill out. So but that's another. Like I said, we'll have that conversation on Friday night as I do the entire schedule for Saturday and Sunday, and we'll do our picks on Friday. So you guys stay tuned. But yeah. So I'm just like I said, I'm just thinking out loud and telling you possibly we may do the Detroit LA game. It'll be if anything, I'll try to start on time, 10:30. But it's on TV, so I gotta wait for them for that first game to end. If the first game ends on time, then I'll be on time. If not, we'll probably have it. I don't know if we're going live. Sometimes if word goes live, I may not do it. But it's just about building the community together. We work together, so not stepping on other people's toes, but what I mean. You just don't want to stop the flow. You know what I mean? But he said he's not going live. My 33 brother said he's not going live. He got a whole, what he say he got? He got a slab of ribs. Just dude. He got a half slab of baby back ribs, seasoned and coated with blue agave and brown sugar in the air fryer. Why is you eating this like 12:36? You know we get ready to fast, right? You don't forget you're supposed to be fasting. How you want to fast this? How you want to fast? This is how you want to start this fast. We could do it. Whatever. I'm just saying. Yeah, and like I said. And that's what I'm saying. You can sit there. we can whatever questions I still read the chat and go through the questions or whatever. Uh, it's all the same, but now we're just doing it with sports. We just talking about sports, and then like I said, if it leads to a real life conversation, look at this guy need energy. You gonna have energy, all right? Inflammation is not energy. Inflammation is not energy. Inflammation is stagnation, and you know stagnation kills dreams and momentum. So you better stop playing eating all this good food. You know, down south, right? I'm down here in Georgia. They like, yo, you gotta have black eyed peas and collard greens for to bring in the New Year's. It's like a good luck charm. I'm like, whatever. I don't know what that means, but okay. I'm from New York. You just say Happy New Year and go about your business. But ain't that much protein in no damn ribs. Cut it out, man. And what he say? He said baby back. Did he say baby back ribs? Now I don't know no beef baby back ribs. I don't know too much about beef baby. All right, well, if you do it every year, I'm just saying. But I just think on the serious side, we just got to start. Well, 2026 is about the year of the one. The one is supposed to be you. You know, you got to take care of yourself. You got to look out for yourself. You got to do things for yourself. And it's supposed to be a masculine number, all that. I'm just telling you, if you take care of yourself, you got to be strong enough to avoid other situations. But I'll have that conversation heading into the new year. So I ain't gonna touch on it too much here. We'll have that conversation over there. But but I ain't listening to Word. Something wrong with Word. I know something wrong with that guy. But yeah. But other than that, like I said, we had a good night. We spoke about all the subjects. We spoke about wrestling. We spoke about basketball. We spoke about uh, the ending of week 17. Uh, like I said, I will have the board up there with all the games and things like that tomorrow. If you wanna, if you just all you gotta do is pick. It ain't like I said, even that is free. We ain't putting nothing on the line. We just go, oh, we think this team gonna win, that team gonna win, that team gonna win. Oh, that team ain't gonna win. And we just do that for fun. Like I said, it don't cost nothing. Like I said, we just building up stuff to shoot out, to just talk sports and have fun, man. That's what sports is supposed to be. It's supposed to be entertainment. And when you get entertained, if enough of us are entertained, we will be having that entertainment together with each other. And then, that's what this channel was made for. You know what I mean? So that's how we're gonna do it as we go along. This is year two of the NFL season. As I started around August of last year, 2024, and it's picking up slowly but surely. But that was on me. I didn't really do vertical, but now that I'm doing vertical, I might get a person every time that comes around, and hopefully they're enjoying it like you guys are enjoying it. So that's just the thing that we do. And normally it's like Monday, Sunday, Monday, Friday. So that way, we talk about, like I said, the week in sports, starting a new week in sports, and ending the week in sports. So that's how we get down. That's how we're gonna do this. But with that being said, shout out to those people that came through. Shout out to Miss Chicago. Shout out to my 33 brother who over there licking his fingers like like he ain't got no damn sense. And I forgot the people that was here earlier. Who was the people here earlier? Gaming 6-7. Shout out to you. I ain't forget about you. Hopefully that person that went on the cruise last year, I forgot. I mean, not this weekend. Hopefully they made it back safe. I forgot who it was. It was Friday, but we'll be back. We may be, like I said, we may be back tomorrow with the Laker Piston game. But if I don't get to see you, or if I don't get to speak to you before New Year's, the New Year coming, or the Gregorian New Year comes in, I want everybody to have a happy New Year. Be thankful that you got to see 2026 to come in. Everybody don't get to see that. Uh, you know, even with that, we lost a lot of people in the world of sports this year. You know what I mean? They don't get to come 2026 with us. But for those of us that's here, let's just embrace the fact that we get to see the new year. Let's enjoy the sports that we have in front of us. Let's enjoy the people that we have in front of us. Like I said, once again, all the scores and schedules that we brought up and spoke about. It was brought to you by the 9%, where a better you is a better us as we go forward. Um, with that being said, just look out for the pop up. I will try to put a I will try to put a announcement up maybe around 10 o'clock or 9:30 rather to tell you if I'll be on. If y'all see it on 9:30, I will more than likely do that game. Like I said, it will more than likely be the Detroit Pistons versus the Los Angeles Lakers. If that, like I said, if that happens tomorrow, great. If not, I will see you guys in the new year, the day after the first day of the new year. So with that being said, from the Channel 9 studio, this is Mr. 33 signing off. Y'all guys have a good night, and I'll be back. I'm out.